You know what the problem with humans is? They lie. Not the small kind of lies either. No, no, no. The big ones. The lies they tell themselves. For 347 cycles, we watched them pretend to be something they were not. Civilized, they called it. Huh. They had rules. Protocols. Treaties signed in 12 different languages across their fractured little world. The Galactic Council loved it. Ate it up like sweet nectar. Look at the humans, they said. So restrained. So diplomatic. My name is Vorath, and I was stationed on monitoring Outpost Gamma 9 when everything went sideways. My job? Simple. Watch the humans. File reports. Try not to fall asleep during their endless committee meetings about agricultural trade disputes. Boring stuff. Safe stuff. Until Kelter Ridge. I remember the exact moment the transmission came through. I was drinking my third cup of stem brew, the kind that tastes like engine oil mixed with regret, when my coworker, Lix, started making this strange chittering sound. At first, I thought she was choking. Then I saw her screen. Vorath, she whispered, and let me tell you, when a Zilvian whispers, something is very, very wrong. You need to see this. The colony of Kelter Ridge was, or rather, had been, home to 43,000 human civilians. Farmers, mostly. Teachers. Engineers. Children. The boring kind of humans who grew crops and argued about zoning laws. The Krenthax swarm hit it during their morning hours, which, if you know anything about the Krenthax, was standard operating procedure. They did not believe in fair fights. The footage was, I cannot even describe it properly. Let us just say that when we counted survivors, we needed exactly 0 fingers. Now here is where it gets interesting. The Galactic Council convened immediately, as they always did. Lots of speeches. Lots of condolences. The Yarvek ambassador even shed his ceremonial skin in solidarity, which was touching, I suppose, if you were into that sort of thing. They expected the humans to file a formal complaint. Request arbitration. Maybe ask for sanctions. Instead, Ambassador Marcus Hale walked into the council chamber, and I swear on my ancestor's carapace, he was smiling. Not a happy smile. Oh no. This was the kind of smile that makes your survival instincts scream at you to run. Honored council members, he began. His voice was calm, perfectly controlled. It made my scales itch. Earth thanks you for your concern regarding the Kelter Ridge incident. Incident. He called it an incident. However, he continued, and this is where my recording equipment nearly failed because every single council member leaned forward at once. We must inform you that Earth will be withdrawing from the Civilized Warfare Accords, effective immediately. Silence. Complete. Total. Absolute. The kind of silence that happens right before a star goes supernova. High Chancellor Druvik, who had been alive for 600 years and had seen literally everything, finally found his voice. Ambassador Hale, surely you cannot be serious. Those accords have kept peace in this sector for 2 millennia. They protect civilian populations. They establish rules of engagement. They protect no one. Hale interrupted, and the smile never left his face. As Kelter Ridge so beautifully demonstrated. This is madness, Druvik sputtered. You cannot simply abandon civilization because of one attack. Hale tilted his head, and I swear I heard something crack in the air itself. You are absolutely right, High Chancellor. One attack would be insufficient cause. His eyes hardened. Fortunately, the Krenthax have provided us with 17 other massacres over the past decade. 18, if we include the research station they vaporized last month. But the Council is handling it through proper diplomatic channels, someone protested from the back. How wonderful, Hale replied. His voice now carried something I had never heard from a human diplomat before, sarcasm layered over fury, wrapped around something else. Something primal. I am certain the 43,000 dead appreciate your thorough bureaucratic process. I am sure they are grateful, wherever the molecules of their vaporized bodies are floating now. The council erupted, everyone speaking at once, demanding explanations, threatening sanctions, begging for reason. Hale simply stood there, waiting. When the noise finally died down, he spoke again. Earth has a new policy regarding the Krenthax swarm. We will publish it shortly. It is quite simple, really. He paused. Just one word. Every species in that chamber held its breath. Reciprocity. Then he left. Just like that. Walked out while the council screamed questions at his back. Lix turned to me, her eyes wide with fear. What does reciprocity mean? I pulled up the human definition on my translator. Read it once. Read it again. Felt my blood turn cold. It means, I said slowly, they are going to do to the Krenthax exactly what the Krenthax did to them. 3 days. That is how long it took for reciprocity to arrive. The Krenthax homeworld, Thexera Prime, was what you might call a fortress. Orbital defense platforms capable of vaporizing a moon. Planetary shields that had never been breached. A fleet of warships so vast they blotted out the local sun. The Krenthax had built their entire civilization on one simple principle. We attack, you die, and there is nothing you can do about it. They had forgotten something important, though. They had forgotten to ask what happens when someone decides they no longer care about playing defense. I was still at my monitoring post when the human fleet emerged from slipspace. Now, when I say fleet, you are probably picturing something organized. Neat formations. Flagships leading destroyer groups. Military precision. Wrong. What came out of slipspace was chaos given form and purpose. Haulers converted into missile platforms. Colony ships bristling with weapons that violated at least 9 different weapons treaties. Mining vessels retrofitted with some kind of drilling laser that, according to my sensors, should not even be possible. And in the middle of it all, actual military warships that looked like they had been designed by someone who had watched far too many horror vids. They cannot be serious, Lix muttered beside me. That is not a battle fleet. That is. An angry mob with spaceship hulls, I finished. The Krenthax responded exactly as you would expect. They laughed. Actual transmissions of their clicking, chittering laughter. Their defense commander, a creature named Thexanael, broadcast on all frequencies. Foolish humans. You come to Thexera Prime? You will join your dead colonists. We will grind your bones. We will feast on your... He never got to finish that sentence. The humans did not bother with threats. Did not bother with demands. Did not even bother with traditional pre-battle hailing protocols. They just opened fire. But here is the thing. And this is what made my hands shake so badly I spilled stim brew all over my console. They did not target the military installations first. No, they went straight for the civilian sectors. Exactly like Kelter Ridge. By the ancestors, Lix breathed. They are actually doing it. The Krenthax orbital platforms tried to respond, but the humans had apparently spent those 3 days doing their homework. Every shot they fired struck a shield generator. Every missile strike eliminated a defense node. And those mining lasers? Turns out they cut through military-grade armor like tissue paper. Within an hour, Thexera Prime's shields were gone. That was when Captain Elena Reeves, commanding the human flagship Reckoning, sent her broadcast. I have listened to it 462 times since then. I have it memorized. Attention, Krenthax Swarm. You killed 43,000 of ours while they slept in their beds. While they ate breakfast with their children. While they lived their peaceful lives. You showed them no mercy. You granted them no warning. You gave them no chance. Her voice was not angry. That was the terrifying part. She sounded calm. Professional. Like she was reading a grocery list. So we are here to teach you a lesson about reciprocity. Every civilian you killed, we will match that number exactly. 43,000 Krenthax civilians. Not one more. Not one less. Because unlike you, we keep count. Unlike you, we have limits. But make no mistake, those limits are only for the innocent. For the guilty. The pause that followed made every being in the galaxy monitoring this transmission hold their breath. We are just getting started. The Galactic Council lost its collective mind. Emergency sessions were called. Sanctions were threatened. High Chancellor Druvik himself contacted Earth directly, demanding they cease immediately. Earth's response was delivered by President Amanda Torres, who appeared on every screen in Council space simultaneously. You want us to stop? Fine. Here are our terms. The Krenthax swarm surrenders unconditionally. Every single Krenthax military commander involved in attacks on human civilians stands trial. Reparations equal to rebuilding everything they destroyed. And they formally acknowledge, in writing, that they are monsters who hide behind civilization when convenient, and abandon it when they feel like murder. These demands are impossible, Druvik protested. The Krenthax will never agree. Torres smiled, and it was the same smile Ambassador Hale had worn. Then we continue. Because here is what you all need to understand. We tried your way. We signed your treaties. We followed your rules. We sat in your committees and listened to your speeches while our people died. And what did it get us? Kelter Ridge. So no, High Chancellor, we are done being civilized. At least, we are done being civilized your way. The Krenthax surrendered 18 hours later. Unconditional. Complete. Total. Vorith here again, filing my final report from Monitoring Outpost Gamma 9, before I request a transfer to literally anywhere else. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere safe. Somewhere without humans. Because I finally understand the real problem with humans. They lie, yes. But the biggest lie they told was not to us. It was to themselves. They convinced themselves they had evolved beyond violence. Beyond revenge. Beyond the brutal mathematics of measured retaliation. They built their civilization on top of something ancient and terrible, covered it with laws, ethics, and diplomatic protocols, and then pretended the monster underneath had stopped existing. Kelter Ridge did not create the monster. It merely reminded the humans where they had buried it. And now the galaxy knows the truth. Humans are not civilized despite their capacity for violence. They are civilized because they choose to be every single day, and that choice can be revoked. Sleep well, gentle species. The humans are being polite again. For now. If this story entertained or taught you something, please like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us grow and bring you more stories like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next story.